Chapter 1. The day everything seemed normal. If I had died that day, I would have died in peace. Not because my life was perfect, but because, up until that moment, I didn't know there was anything wrong. I woke up the way I always did. Even before the alarm rang, my eyes opened on their own. That had been happening for years. My body seemed to have learned the exact time, as if it were programmed for it. If I ever found it strange, I never showed it. I simply accepted it. The white ceiling above me was intact. No new cracks. No shadows out of place. Everything exactly like yesterday, and the day before, and always. I got out of bed, feeling the cold floor beneath my feet, and walked to the window. The city was already awake. Silent cars glided along the avenues. People walked in almost perfect lines along the sidewalks. Giant screens projected personalized ads that changed as each person passed by. My name appeared on one of them, for a brief second. "Good morning, Ilias," I smiled. These days, everyone gets used to that. The city knows who you are. It knows what you like. It knows what you need before you even realize it. They called it algorithmic harmony, a system so advanced it promised to eliminate human chaos. And it worked. At least, that's what they said. As I got dressed, I felt that strange sense of comfort. The certainty that everything was under control. Not exactly my control, but that of something bigger, smarter, more efficient than any individual decision. I didn't need to choose much. The system chose for me. Breakfast was already ready when I entered the kitchen. The machine had prepared exactly what I usually drank on Mondays. Always on Mondays. Not too strong, not too weak. Perfect. I picked up the mug and sat down. The wall display lit up automatically, showing the day's news. No major tragedy, no crisis, no war. Peace had become boring. Maybe that was why so many people from my generation felt that strange emptiness, that sense that something was missing, even when everything seemed solved. Life was safe, predictable, organized, and deeply silent inside. I finished my coffee, put the mug in the sink, and left the apartment. The door closed behind me with a soft click, recognizing my iris, my heart rate, my movement pattern. The hallway was empty, as almost always. The entire building seemed to breathe at the same rhythm, elevators arriving before being called, doors opening at exactly the right moment. Nothing ever failed, or almost nothing. In the elevator, as I went down, I noticed something I couldn't immediately explain. My reflection in the mirror seemed delayed, a microsecond, maybe, but enough to cause a strange discomfort. Blink, take a deep breath. Ignore it. Must be fatigue, I muttered. When the doors opened at the ground floor, the feeling had already disappeared. The street was alive, young people with headphones, delivery drones crossing the sky, autonomous vehicles moving as if they shared a collective consciousness. I was part of it, or at least, I thought I was. I worked at the Behavioral Analysis Core, a pompous name for something simple, observing human patterns and adjusting them to improve social efficiency. Nothing invasive, nothing illegal, all consensual, or so we were told. I passed my wrist over the scanner at the building entrance. Green light. Welcome back, Elias. I always found it curious how the word back was used, even when I had only left to sleep. The workday began normally. Screens, data graphs, probabilities. I analyzed behaviors and suggested micro-adjustments, small changes that helped people make better decisions. A delay avoided here, a conflict prevented there, an emotional choice softened. We didn't control anyone, we merely guided them. At noon, I stopped for lunch. I sat at the same table as always. I looked around. Conversations were calm, laughter restrained, everything too balanced. Sometimes I wondered if anyone there had ever truly screamed in rage, or cried for no reason, or done something completely impulsive. Humanity seemed to have been sanded down until it lost its edges. That's when I felt it, a light pressure in my head, as if something had tried to connect and failed. I brought my hand to my temple. No one else seemed to notice. Elias? I looked up. It was Noah, a co-worker. You okay? He asked. I am. Just a headache. He nodded, satisfied with the answer. He didn't ask anything else. People rarely asked more than necessary. The system didn't like excess. The rest of the day passed without incident, or at least without anything I was willing to recognize as an incident. When I got home, the sky was perfectly orange. Not beautiful, not ugly, just appropriate. I entered the apartment, dropped my bag, and collapsed onto the couch. I sighed. System reduce lighting by 20%. Nothing happened. I frowned. System. Silence. The lights remained exactly the same. My heart sped up a little. That wasn't common. System voice, command active. Still nothing. For a few seconds, the entire apartment seemed dead. No responses, no adjustments, no constant presence, the one I only noticed when it vanished. And then, as if nothing had happened, the lights dimmed on their own. A minimal delay. Almost imperceptible, but enough to plant something inside me. A question I had never asked before. What if the system wasn't infallible? That night, it took me a long time to fall asleep, and when I finally did, I dreamed of something I couldn't forget. I dreamed that I was awake, in my own bedroom, the white ceiling above me, but this time there was something written on it, a simple sentence. You are not supposed to be seeing this. I woke up with my heart racing. The ceiling was clean, white, normal, but the feeling, that didn't fade. And that was how the day ended. The last day when everything seemed normal.